Head into the unknown, down the rabbit hole, where it stops no one knows. We're going head into the unknown. Na, 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 na.
Well, it might help if I unmute myself so that you guys can see me. Hello. Hi, everybody. Hi, Shmita. Hi, Tia. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Shebe. What's up, Spicy? Hi, Grace. What's up, Johnny? Hi, Jeffrey. Good to see you. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Olivia. My three sons. Meta Mom. The Rockaways. Can anyone provide an executive summary of last night's show? Hence why we are here. Yes. Hi, Kaleidohope. What's up, Angela? Hi, Robin. Hi, Shaz. Petunia. And Princess Megan Elsa is here. J-Yo. What's up, Cool Gamer? Hi, Marshall Dove. Hi, MJ. It's always good to see you. Mrs. Marple. Yeah, I'm gonna do my best, but you know I'm a talker, so don't get too mad. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Erica. What's up, ATS? Hey, Adrian. All right, let me pop back down here. See how you guys are doing down here. Meta Mom. Meta Mom. Hi, 1960. Hey, Art of Deduction. Sorry I missed the end of your live earlier. What's up, JC Marty? Okay. Hi, Deets. Here for it. All right, Tia, hold on. I gotta switch over here real quick because I gotta get my I gotta get a wrench for you. Okay, that should work. No more 8 hours, please. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to go that long, but hopefully we can get it kind of narrowed down. I've tried, and then we can just talk about it. But at least we'll have a little excerpt of what I feel the biggest parts that were discussed yesterday. It was a lot, girl. You've had me digging all day. That's good. That makes me happy because that means that you might put something out that I get to watch. And I love Deets on the Streets videos. C-Dub! I am freezing, so please forgive me. As soon as I get talking and moving and stuff, then I'll probably warm up. But I'm like so cold. So yesterday it was very intense. It was very intense and not as you guys would say, concise as I would typically have liked it to have been. Now, let me just say, it was very chaotic leading up into that live. There was some messages that were being sent. Some would say threatening. I would say threatening. Essentially did not want that live to happen. And it was like being bombarded right before the live. Like I was trying to just get my regular old stuff done and the stuff was just coming in and essentially just saying, they're not my screenshots, so I don't want to put them out, but essentially just saying like, hey, like you guys need to rethink this. There's going to be, there's other information out there that can be shared. like about the people who were going to be coming on, and if like, and I'm just giving you a roundabout so you can take it how you want to. But it was like, yeah, that stuff's going to come out if this continues, kind of thing. And if you want the information, you're going about it the wrong way. It was a lot, and I'm just trying to compact it for you and make it as concise as possible. So there was a lot going into just right before that live yesterday, and I was trying to eat dinner just because I knew I was going to be on here for a while, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to make it that long without having any food. So here I am, like shoving my face, trying to like read through the messages. And so I came on kind of chaotic myself. And so I think that kind of set the tone, and that's my fault, because there was just so much happening in such a very tight amount of time. Oh, Julie, thank you for asking. I was over there earlier today. She's healing. She's still struggling, but she's definitely healing. So it was a long live. There was a lot of information. And I know I say this every time too, there's a lot of history in this case with people who like people, don't like other people. I don't have that history. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because for me, I'm just taking people as they are right now, and not all the history that caused all the dislike and whatever else. So, it is what it is. I don't have that. I don't have it. So I can't just pretend to have it. And like I've told you guys, I'm not going to go back and do all the research to see why people don't like each other. Like, I'd much rather spend my time researching the case, because that's what I really want answers to. I don't really care why everybody doesn't like each other. I know it sounds silly, but it is. It was the scenic route. It definitely was. It was the scenic route. I mean, I don't have anything against these people, so I have no drama like with them. I don't. So just, but I know that it causes some conflict for some of you guys, or even like other channel creators that don't like each other, and then who I talk to. But I just pop into everybody's chats. I don't really have any issues with a lot of the people. So I don't know. That may make people not like me, but I'm just trying to find out the answers. And it seems it's such a struggle, because I just wish that like it was just all out there. Like, here it all is. Here's everything we know, and here it all is. But then there's like the secrecy and so many riddles. Like, I'm not good with that. I'm just like, I just need somebody to tell me, and just give it. You'll make enemies by telling the truth. Great, thanks, yay. So, thank Miss Marple. We'll be. Yeah, I try. You're giving me Harry Potter vibes. Blackmail. Ooh, what did I miss? Yeah, everybody was a bit flustered, and I do think that was kind of the point, was to get everybody flustered, so it didn't go as smooth as it could have, which, it is what it is. I don't think that was anybody's fault on the live last night, but it also, I didn't have the time or the chance to get some of the clarifying questions that I would have liked to, because it kind of, and not last night on the live, I'm talking about prior to the live, I didn't get like some of the clarifying questions. Like, I would have typically wanted to know some more timestamps, which I didn't get a chance to ask him, and I will now, posts live, but I wish I would have had that, and just been able to actually focus more on that before we went live. So I apologize to you. I know it was chaotic. It's not, I'm all over the place myself. So, throw three of us together, they're all over the place. I can see why it was confusing. So a lot of you guys have reached out and asked if I could just do just a short, here's what happened, here's what we learned, and that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do my best to do that. You enjoyed it? Oh, good. There you go. There was actually stuff that I didn't know that came out. So let me pull up what I have for you. And we'll see if this helps at all. And if there are more clarifying questions that we should like follow up on, just let me know. I've got my notepad ready, and I have no problem. I can text and ask questions or whatnot too. So. I know. I was like, people were messaging me. They're like, they felt like they were like the person on the, like with the whiteboard that was like pulling strings everywhere, like all confused, like trying to understand what was happening. Hold on one second. Well, my husband was just messaged me. Okay. Did Skip ever answer what the first crime scene photo was that was sent to him? No, but he is checking that. I asked him that this morning or this afternoon. He's going to check on that one for me, Deets, because I did have that question that I didn't get to follow up on last night. Yeah, don't ever be the person with the whiteboard. Oh, Olivia, thank you. That's very nice. Like there was 2 groups of girls on the trail. We still don't have clarification on the time that they were there. And that's really always been my big question. I also didn't know I didn't know who they were, but now we kind of do. I think that's kind of where some of the confusing stuff came to, Marshall, was depending on like your level of how like in depth into Delphi you are. If I had watched that live 5 months ago, I would have been like, I don't even know what the fuck I'm watching. I would have just been like, I don't even know what the hell this is. But now I'm like, I totally get it. This makes a lot of sense. And I think that's fair, Dustin. I mean, let's see RL's laptop. Some whole thing about geocaching and Ricky Baker, tripod indentions at the crime scene and the leaves somehow. Weapon left at the scene, Melvin claiming searcher took and leaked photos. Okay, we're going to walk through it. We're going to walk it through. We're going to walk it out. Walk it out. Something about it. Just like random pieces. Hi, Candace. Okay, Python chick. That would be a great starting point. So we'll start there. So Julie Melvin is from the area, and the easiest, let's see, and this is even complicated to kind of explain. So Libby lived with her grandparents, Mike and Becky Patty. Mike and Becky Patty had adopted a young man named Cody. Julie Melvin is Jesus Christ. Julie Melvin is Cody Patty's biological aunt. So she's kind of tied into the mix of things. And so obviously this happened very close to her. She has, talked to many people in the area. And just from the small amount of time I've got to talk to her, it really kind of seems to me like it started off like, well, holy crap, there's this crazy case that just happened, or a crazy murder that just happened near us. And so she's just kind of talking to people about it, like, hey, you guys heard like how crazy this is. And then obviously 7 years later, you don't really expect that you're still going to be in it. But now here you are, because it's taken so much of your life that you can't really just let it go. And that's where she falls in. Now, Skip, that's actually a really good question. I don't know when he very first got involved in the case. From what I understand, and what I've seen, I should say, is that he was a guest on quite a few different shows and podcasts, talking about his thoughts and theories. How he's directly tied in, I actually don't know. Just from knowing so many people. So I didn't ask him that, actually. I probably should have, but I didn't. Right. I agree, Jenny. I know, and that's tough too. They didn't. So even just the family dynamic is, I mean, I think I've shown you guys that already, but I'll kind of show you again, and it's not even them. Let me see if I have it. What did I do with it? Here it is. Yeah, I've been trying to make everything visual because I'm like, this, I have to be able to track this stuff. So you can just kind of see just from this. So like this is Abby's family and her mom, and then it's gone back and forth between a couple people on who the dad is, but I believe it's Peter. But I'm not putting that on there because I don't have anything to back it up. So her mom, Anna, her mom was married. Her mom, Diane Erskine, was married to Cliff, her dad. They had her sister, Amy, and her. And then Diane they got divorced. Diane married Eric Erskine, who had children already. David Erskine, which you guys are familiar with because of David Erskine's text messages that had been leaked at the very beginning of the case. So that kind of tells you that part. That's just his brother. And that was who originally was said to have been the person who found the girls, but then it changed to David. And so many have speculated that David said he was the one that found the girls, just so his brother didn't get questioned a lot and wasn't kind of being bombarded. You guys can't see this? You have a black screen, Patricia? So, hopefully, okay, you can see it. Okay, perfect. So there's been a lot of speculation about that and, what role David actually played and back and forth. But what we know as the general public is that the text messages that came out, those are from David Erskine. So that is Abby's step uncle. Makes sense? Now, this family tree gets it's a lot, and it's not done. So you got Libby's dad, Derek, who was the one who was picking them up. And was calling and was there to begin with, and then starts calling his family members to try to figure out, has anybody heard from the girls? He was married to Carrie, and they had their 2 daughters, Kelsey, which everybody should, if you follow Delphi, you know who Kelsey is. Oh, really, Kyle? Oh, yeah. And he told me he was the one that found him. So that's why I said it was always went back and forth. At the very, very beginning, the very first post said that Andrew had found them, but I think it was just a mix-up of which brother, but that's, like I said, neither here nor there. We know that David is the one from the text messages. So there's Derek, and so Derek was married to Carrie, and they had their 2 children, which is Kelsey and Libby. They divorced. He had another daughter who's up here, and then Carrie got married again down here, and then she had 2 more children. Here's Carrie's parents. And then it gets a little bit more up here where you have Derek's sister is Tara, and she was pretty active at the very beginning of all of this as well. That is Becky, Patty, and Brad German are Derek and Tara German's parents. Tara married Amanda, and Brad and Becky got divorced. Brad married Terry German, who was prior Terry McLeland, and she was married to Nick McLeland's uncle, which is I have on the next part. So it kind of just to make it easier, because there's a lot of lines and a lot of things, but that's really how everybody. And I need to actually add. I should probably add Cody to this one. So then you have Cody. So Becky and Mike Patty, they adopted Cody, who's not on here, and Cody is Julie Melvin's biological nephew. Make sense? So I'll add him onto this one though, because he should be here. Then I'll probably have to have another branch off. So I have a whole branch off of these guys that I don't have saved yet. It's a work in progress, so that it tells you how Nick McLeland is. Yes, and Nick's dad is Stephen. So Stephen was Terry McLeland's brother-in-law at one time. Hi, Allie. Clear as mud. I told you guys that the family tree is a bit of a circle instead of a tree. It's more of a wreath. I know all of these people, and they were my dad's friends at the bar when I was growing up. Yeah, we should chat. We definitely need to chat because it's just there's a lot. It's just so much. Hey, Moxie. Anna said she didn't know that she was dating anybody, and she didn't know that she had gotten a Facebook. Yes, Savannah, I sure can. I absolutely can. I will add that to my list. And do one of. That's what I said. All these graphics that I'm showing you guys are all going to go into. They're all going to go into this. So ultimately, you guys will be able to access all of it when it's all said and done. You'll be able to see, and it's interactive. You can actually walk it through and go see who everybody is. I showed this the other day, and I've worked on it a little bit, but man, life's been a little crazy. So, you know, but you'll be able to access all of these because it's all interactive. Oh, I should do it this way. There, see, like it'll all be in here. And then you can go to here, you can go to the witnesses. You'll be able to go in and see what witnesses said what. We're not quite there yet. That's why I said it's a work in progress. But this will be, once this is done, it'll be an active link for you guys to be able to have. So all these, everything else that I'm showing you is all being made to go into here. And then I'll have to add one about the leaks just because I think it's pretty good information. But it'll have, I mean, and then you'll be able to go in, and one of the things I was working on, if you guys weren't here the other day when I was showing it, is putting in all the links. It'll have all the links to all the videos that any one of these people has been on. It'll also have any photos of any screenshots that I have. So then you guys will have all of that. But like I said, it's just, I mean, it's definitely, but it makes it easy too, because you just click on it and it takes you right to who that person is. And then, so, and then the timeline, like I said, that's not done yet either, but you'll be able to click on it and you'll be able to walk through and click on the pictures when they're uploaded of what the timeline actually was. It's just not done. So, Justin, thank you. What is the reason for not sharing the threats? I don't know any of the three of you, but that Skip guy was lying at times and playing silly games. I don't know what he would have been lying about or what games you think he was playing, but I'd be happy if you had questions. Please, like, let me know what they are and I'll ask him. I have no problem asking him questions. And what is the problem with showing the threats? They're not my screenshots, and I've not asked if I can show them, and I don't really just want to, I don't just throw stuff out there just cause it's not mine. And that's why I said, I don't even know if you can use the word threats. It was the very underlying gaslighting threats. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. Now she's saying that she did know that Abby was dating someone, so we do not know if she's lying. Libby's clothes were found up the creek from the crime scene. Oh, see, I haven't heard her actually say that. I've only ever heard her say that she didn't know that she had a boyfriend or that she was dating him. Yeah, it was very, very gaslighty threats. Yeah, and if you have a specific question, Justin, like I have no problem, I'll ask it. Just tell me what the topic was that you think he was lying about, or the games, because I didn't feel that way at all, actually. Hi, all the shirts. How many of the fires Nick's dad was responsible for? That's a good question. I've not looked too far into that. I do know that he was arrested for arson. Hi, Hossein. Hi, Alley Cat. Libby got in a fight with a close friend over a boy right before the murders. Yes. I do believe that. Okay, I think I caught up with you guys. Yeah, me too. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. Okay, so I'll back out of this because, like I said, everything I'm making is going to end up going in there anyway, so you guys will have it. Where do you get access to it yet? I have to make it a shareable link, but since it's not done, I don't know. It really doesn't get you too much yet. So when it is shareable, I'll definitely put it out there. It might be set to public. I actually don't know, but you'd have to just go to Delphi Prezi presentation, I think. We talked about this the other day, didn't we? Yeah, see, I'm going to export it to a PDF beforehand, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I've only ever shared them within the groups, so I've never actually shared them like super public. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure that Tobe has somebody in his family that's um, also been arrested. I think that also comes from probably years of being in here, which I don't have yet. Years of digging into all of this and actually being more cynical versus cynical. You know what I mean? I think that they probably do have some cynicism because of all the shit that's happened. All right, I need to get out of this though. Let me get rid of it. Put it over here so we can go back to what we were looking at. Okay, so this was, he gave me like 20 screenshots. I pulled the stuff because some of it he wanted you guys to just be able to see like how they started talking, just kind of what the general conversation was. And it wasn't like mind blowing. It was literally just the conversation. And he didn't share with me everything, which I wouldn't ask him to, because he does say they talked for quite a few months and they didn't only talk about the case. So I wouldn't be like, hey, give me every screenshot that you have with this dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to know any of their personal stuff at all. All I care about is the facts behind why this leak is happening. And people think like, I'm going to clarify this. The leak is important because of who's behind the leak. And the reason they're behind the leak. It's not like that it's not that the contents of it are necessarily what's always important. It's who's purposely doing that. And how is there an orchestrated group of people behind the scenes that are planning to leak it? And I just don't want that to get lost, because I know there's a lot of people that think, you know, the leak is a distraction, or the leak is not really important anymore. It's already been leaked, so let it go. And for me, it's important because the defense is being blamed for this current leak. Obviously, we know that, and look what's happened. And then, but for the whole time, why is there an orchestrated leak from anybody, whether it be the defense or the prosecution or the law enforcement? Why orchestrate the leak? What's the purpose behind it? Because if there isn't a purpose, then there would be no problem with just going out and saying, hey, we have XYZ. This is what we have. So if they're purposely giving this information to different people, are they giving them the same information? Are they purposely giving them different information? And what is their intent that they want these people to do with it? That to me is what's important. Can I explain who Mark is? I think some are confused on his connection to the case. Cough me cough. Yeah, is a huge symptom of a problem, right? And it's not like the end result, which I think it does kind of get lost too, because it became more about like, now it's so widespread at this point. Like, you're not going to be able to track who sent them to who. You almost have to kind of focus in on the core of it. So Mark, interestingly enough, he's just a regular old person on Facebook and Reddit and Discord, and from my understanding, has no relationship with the case whatsoever besides being interested in it. If there's more to it, that's another. We'll have to discuss that another time, because I don't know that there's more to it. Just somebody that from my understanding, was interested in the case and started talking to certain people. No idea. Now, there was a message that I didn't actually add to this where he tells Skip that he's connected to Delphi through the death of a child. Skip said last night he did not want to dig too far into that. That was personal, and he didn't feel comfortable asking him too many questions about it. And so he kind of comes up because my first knowledge of Mark having any inside information was when he posts about the F tree. Let me see. So he posts about the F tree on October 4th in the Facebook groups. And if you go back in my lives, I've actually talked about it. I bring the F tree up, I think, within days of him posting it. And I'm like, I don't know. This is in Facebook groups. I don't know if it's legit. Don't know who it's from. Probably isn't legit, so on and so forth. And come to find out, no, it is actually legit, and it did get out, and it was a picture from Discovery and from the crime scene. So he posts this, and then I'm like, okay, now as I'm starting to kind of dig into like what's really going on here, how's this all unfolding, what's really happening, let's look at this timeline. I can see that there's more to this Mark guy. Now, I had already known about Brandon Woodhouse, and I'm not trying to speak ill of him, but I know that he's definitely got some personal issues that he has to deal with. And so there was a lot of skepticism on whether anything that this Brandon Woodhouse actually had to say was important, which actually takes us to, we're going to skip around then, but you're going to get the gist of it. So in December, Baldwin accidentally had emailed this Brandon Woodhouse with, it's called a thumb drive map of the Richard Allen case. And in the case, or in the email, it has essentially this. There's a lot more to this, some that I have, some that I don't. And it essentially lines out everything that the defense has in order for them to go through and say, yes, this is what we've received, and this is what we're still missing. So it's kind of just like an outline, like this is what we have, this is the outline of what we've gotten for our discovery purposes from the prosecution. But it gives insight into knowing what kind of information they had for discovery at the time. I was under the impression he got this in April. I'm being told that he actually got it in December, and that it matches the timeline that the judge talks about in her emails, which we can go through too if we need to. So that's neither here nor there, but essentially he gets this. And then in August of 2023, Mark Robert, same guy, starts talking to Brandon Woodhouse about all of the information that he has, and they start going back and forth. Now, Mark Robert at that time is telling Brandon Woodhouse that he believes that Richard Allen is innocent. And I don't know, do you guys want to go through that? If you guys want to go through that, we can. I have it. So ultimately what happens is they end up on the outs, and Brandon Woodhouse puts out a video that shows all the interactions between him and Mark Robert, where he's sending him some of these, and Mark Robert's telling him that he believes that Richard Allen is completely innocent. So Mark Robert is now involved in this. He had created a Reddit account that he had prior, the Funko Cohen account, which is what you see him talking to Skip on here. This is the Funko Cohen 87 account. This was his Reddit account. He, in August, creates a new account called Dread Pirate 33. And goes in, and he's essentially telling everybody on Reddit that he has access to the discovery, and he has everything, and he knows all the stuff and knows all the things. And now he's on Reddit as Dread Pirate 33, telling everybody that he absolutely thinks that Richard Allen is guilty, and he is the guy, and that is it. Hi, Sleuthy Goosey. So Mark Robert is involved in this part of it. So this is me working my way backwards. I'm telling you guys in my own brain. So I learn of him with the F tree. I go back, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. That's the same dude that was talking to Brandon Woodhouse, and so he's involved in that. Now, if you go further back, you end up with the clothing pictures. And I've always referred to these as like there's these 3 different leaks of information. T, if you want to download all comments by Dead Parent and put in PDF. Oh, do you have that, Sleuthy? I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. If you have it and you want to send it, I absolutely would love to have it. I know that you can, I've pulled all of them up on a previous live because you can go through and check all deleted comments and everything from Reddit, but I didn't save anything as a PDF. So anyway, as I'm working my way backwards, we all knew that last year, actually beginning of this year, a gentleman named Gavin Fish, who has a YouTube channel. Yes, Luthi, I definitely want it. He runs a YouTube channel, and he had posted the images. There was 3 pictures of clothes in the water, and in those 3 pictures, Gavin Fish had watermarked it, and we've gone through this a few times too. If you've missed it, he essentially just says, "Hey, I can't verify these. I was sent these, and I'm just putting them out there." He got a ton of shit for it, and did a live saying, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't have, but I just did it. Well, on August 18th, Mark Robert puts out pictures that aren't watermarked. So I'm like, it piqued my interest. Obviously, the pictures were out there, so maybe he just happened to have the unwatermarked ones. I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. Then it just like I said, it's like putting all the little pieces together, and I still don't have all the pieces. So don't get me wrong. That's what we're doing here, is I'm still trying to put these pieces together. And he also got them from an anonymous source via email. Yeah, ironic. There are other pics of the fake crime scene and of Abby's clothes. I've not seen those. But he also added in a couple other things that had been leaked, which was the picture of the list from the search. And he throws that in here, and it's interesting because if you see, there's a couple names that are kind of popping out. I don't know if you can actually see it. Oh, shit. But it's Amy and Elo. And Amy we were just looking at the family tree. Amy is Anna's sister. Elo is her future husband. Well, now past husband, but at the time, future husband. So that's Abby's aunt and uncle that are there. So I found that interesting that he's putting that out there. But all these things have kind of just been leaking for a long time. So once again, I'm like, maybe he just had access to them, and it just is what it is. Then we find out that, as we're looking more into it, we pull up and we see, okay, wait, Chris Todd was on Court TV, and he was saying that he had the pictures back on December 3rd. Now, ATS and I went back and forth a little bit on this, on what pictures did Chris Todd actually have, because he specifically says he has the clothing pictures, right? That he shows or he's talking about the clothing pictures, calling them crime scene pictures. But does he actually have more pictures than that? We kind of go back and forth because he insinuates that he does, but he doesn't actually say that he does. So it's like, okay, here we go. Now we have 12/5 of 2022 that there's somebody in Discord that is talking about the fact that Abby had on Libby's clothes. So this has been out for almost a year. This was December 5th of 2022. Yeah, all over the place. Maybe. I think he should too. Just come on, just fucking tell the truth. But see, this is what makes me more upset about that whole thing, is because somebody who I feel like, if I have these pictures and some random dude, Robert Fortson, who I met on Reddit, sent me these photos, and I contacted Murder Sheet and was like, holy shit, what do I do? That would be a really easy thing to come out and just say that's what happened. All this other stuff makes me go, there's so much more to this, that the person isn't just going, yeah, he sent me the photos. I was like, holy shit, what do I do with them? And I talked to Murder Sheet, and this is where we are. No. Because now you have Mark Robert, who's involved in all of the leaks. So this makes me go, okay, there's more to this. And so when somebody comes in my chat last night and is trying to tell me, that there's been all these other leaks, and I should basically telling me to look over here so that I don't look over here, I'm like, no, I'm going to continue to look over here because I feel like this is where you're trying to get me to not look. So now I'm really going to look over here because there's a bigger reason for it. Oh, I am. I talked about that last night too. Absolutely. And then we'll go to the argument that there was no gag order. There was no gag order at that time. Well, that's fine. There's no gag order, but you want the information out to the public. Why not just put it out there? Why not just have your press conference and say, hey, this is what we have? Why not just, do an interview, do your little, information podcast that you do, put it somewhere. So that means to me it is actually still a leak because law enforcement doesn't want it out there, and there is somebody that's working with law enforcement that does. There's somebody working with law enforcement that's giving Barbara McDonald stuff. There's somebody working with law enforcement that's, in my opinion, giving Mark Cohen stuff. And I think that Mark Cohen plays both sides of the fence so that he can get the information and then do it, be the I have all the information guy. So you see him talking to, Brandon Woodhouse. Oh, he's so innocent. I totally think he's innocent. I'm totally with you on this. Let's fight for justice. And then you see him talking on Reddit to everybody there. He's like, oh no, this guy's guilty. And now you see the people that he currently talks to who are all like, yeah, Richard Allen's totally guilty. It's just how it is. Totally guilty. I don't think it was. I actually think it was a friend of his. Or maybe if it was, then he's going even further to cover his tracks than I would have even thought. But I think it's a friend of his. Yeah. Yes. See, this is what we talked about when it came to the pictures. How did he know that? And then here we go. 2 days later, it's in Discord saying that. So is it Chris Todd that's talking to people who was leaking the stuff to Chris Todd? The way that he presented it seemed to me that he was getting that information from somebody in the family. Possible. Don't know. And that's where I'm at with that part. I am not either anymore. I actually was, but I'm not anymore. She used to say that, but she doesn't now. She now says multiple sources close to the investigation. It's a very blanketed answer that you're going to hear quite a bit. Well, so here's something that's interesting because, and I don't know if he's still here, but Art of Deduction had messaged with the coroner, and the coroner did respond. He sent me the screenshots of it. The coroner responded with that they were under a gag order. Now, did the judge or at that time just place anything from the ME under the gag order, a specific gag order we don't have access to? I mean, that's possible. I don't know. Can you bring them to me now? Because I don't have them still. What I asked you for? Appreciate it. Thank you. Let me go back up and catch up with you guys for a second. Hi, Don. How are you doing, honey? Okay, so I see the multiple crime scenes thing in a few different places. Please stop being obscure and lay out your info. We get a lot of obscurity in this case. It's just kind of, it's like, that's why I said there's a lot of riddles. He's clearly got other people speaking for him, and it clearly ain't working. I agree. Yeah, I do. Just like that person who then in turn either sent it to other people, and then that's how I ended up getting some of it. But it was like different pieces went to different people. I have Apophis. How did Gull determine gross negligence when the leak is still being investigated? Well, this is another thing. I was talking about that yesterday too. If this leak is being investigated, who's investigating it? I mean, isn't it already, if we're going with the narrative we're being sold, it was Mitch Westerman went in August, took the photos, gave them to Robert Fortson, and Robert Fortson dispersed them out to the world. Right? So there should be no investigation. It's over. And then if it is coming from law enforcement and there's more to the leak than meets the eye, which I think there is, then that same law enforcement is the one that's investigating the leak. They're not going to come up with anything different. They're not coming up with anything new. You know what I mean? Thank you very much. So is there even an investigation? And if there is, what's the end result? Because I don't know how anybody's going to get in trouble. I know like Judge Gull says, like, she'll hold them in contempt or whatever she was, but okay. So Let's say Frank has them. He's in the Netherlands. Let's say Crime Night has them. He's in Australia. Frances C. Gold doesn't have any pull. She can't do any of that. So no matter who has the photos, nothing can even happen. It would all just come back to the original people and how it's going. But I don't think you're ever going to get an answer because it's all the people that are involved. I want to know how Fortson fits in. How does this random military guy get involved? So his sister-in-law was actually in Delphi Facebook groups and was following the case for a long time. Then he actually makes comments after Richard Allen gets arrested. He makes comments on her Facebook about it, about the case, and how like they better, interrogate him and get the truth and so on and so forth. Well, then come to find out that Robert has the connection with Mitch Westerman and they were friends. So Mitch gave him the photos. Well, from the narrative we're being told, Robert meets Mark Cohen on Reddit or Facebook, but I think it's Reddit. And then they start talking. So is he playing with him? Telling him, I think Richard Allen's innocent? Because he also goes and tells Rick Snay that he has to pretend that he thinks he's guilty so that people don't think the information he has is coming from the defense. And so all of this leads up to where we ended up with yesterday. And my point of the whole thing was he's not on the side of the defense. He is pro-prosecution, and he tells Skip that his connection is the Carroll County people. And he's telling him he has this connection in September of 2022. Now, did some content come out that I think we should make sure that we talk about in the information that was shared? Absolutely. But for timeline purposes, that was the whole point of the live yesterday. And I think it got kind of lost. But it was to show Mark already had sources long before there was ever an arrest. Mark was receiving information from somebody before there was a defense team. That's kind of where we fall at. Hey, executive sessions. Well, I would hope that would be true. Oh, Dom, I'm sorry. I know how hard that is, and I did that this year. It's just a nightmare. You're in my thoughts, though. That's what Mark says, yes. I know it does, Justice Jane. I've been thinking about them all day. And if you guys aren't, if you guys follow that case, Alex Erickson put out something really sweet that Jasmine Kernodle said about her sister Xana and Xana's boyfriend Ethan. It was literally had me tearing up. I was like, oh, that one's tough. Inspector Gadget. Yeah. Well, if I trusted them, I would, because that's where I'm at with Idaho. I actually think we're on the right path with Idaho. So I'm kind of just letting it play its course, still following along, still pay attention to all the documents, still pay attention to the news stories, but I am not overly invested at this moment because I feel like everything's on the right path. I'm not feeling that way here at all. Yeah, the people that leaked it are investigating it. ISP is investigating it. Well, that's a problem because Holman works for ISP. So that's still not going to help us. Somebody outside of all of those people needs to investigate it. But Holman is the one that Murder Sheet contacted. They contacted him and had a sit down with him and told him all the things. You're the same ones who lied to get a PCA. Well, not yet. And now you're going into Carroll County. Cherry Blossom. As soon as Holman was assigned to investigate the leak, it should have raised red flags to everybody. Jiu-jitsu, right? Yeah, the person that they're probably accusing of leaking or is in cahoots with the people that they're leaking is the people that they're going to have investigate the leakers. And then turn that over to Nick McClelland, who doesn't want these guys on the case because he thinks that their memorandum is in my opinion, too close to home. In other people's opinion, he just didn't like them because they were just making shit up. But he actually says it's not all not true. Yeah, that's what they're investigating. I'm very curious to see how that all plays out. And it could take a little while, but I mean, right now we're at what deadlines are, what, 26, 27 of this month? Thanksgiving. And I was like, you're disqualified and you're disqualified. Because if you think about it, they're saying Mitch stole them, but they're claiming Robert spread them because they claim Mark only sent to Murder Sheet. Robert is the fall guy. Right. And everybody seemed, well, no, I shouldn't say everybody, but there's a lot of people who seem to have forgotten this whole original narrative that we were even told that Robert sent them to two people, a female and Mark Robert. So there is some unknown female. Is she unknown? I don't know. I mean, that's a whole nother side of it. But this side is, in my opinion, this side is separate. If those two people are tied together for all of these different leaks, then I think that we've got a real problem. I think I might be really far behind you guys. I'm sorry. That's right. Hey, Gina. Well, I appreciate that. It was kind of chaos, but you know, it is what it is. We're normally a little more calmer around these parts. I heard a rumor is that Mark's sister is good friends with BP. Anyone know how to research that? No, but I also, somebody, one of you lovely people had let me know that Mitch Westerman was actually close, ironically, with the people that are claimed in the Franks memorandum to have done this crime. So Mitch is tied to like the Abrams and the Fields and all of that. So then I went digging into that and found some interesting connections. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then you have a defense attorney, Rosie, who's friends with a friend of Brett Holder's. I don't know. I mean, it's small town dynamics, so take it for what you want. It is what it is. And from what I could tell, Brad Rosie, whatever you want to call him, Brad's uncle arrested Shane Evans' uncle. It's like full circle. It should be a federal investigation, but then I don't know. I believe leaks were done on two separate reasons by two separate main sources. One for retaliation from LE whistleblowers because egos were butting, and the other CCOD prosecution. That's a very good possibility. And I have gone back. Like, I think that if the original photos of like the stuff in the water, I obviously can't be 100% sold on anything, but my thought process has always been that those actually came from the people who were searching, that those were actually given to Chris Todd because he was there and he was going to write the book and he was going to do the things that he was going to do and try to, you know, help solve the case as an investigative journalist, author type person. So I always thought those actually came straight from the person who took them, or those people, I should say. I never thought they came from LE or defense. But hi, Salty Sweet Tea. Good to see you. Holman can't find the Purdue professor. Also Holman to the Purdue professor. Sorry, it took me a few weeks to meet you. Which, right? And so now I question, was there ever even a Purdue professor to begin with? Was that all made up? Or was there, because they never actually talk about, was this the guy they talked to back in 2017? Nobody ever confirms that. It's like freaking Mitch Westerman's, what do you call it? It's like his affidavit where he's like, yeah, I went in and took pictures and sent them out. And it's like, okay, well, when did you do that? Who did you send them to? When did you send them to those people? It's like, nope, now we know the answer, so everybody just continues to move on. Someone needs to name the female. I know Art of Deduction's been working on trying to figure it out, so. Well, Mitch has admitted something. He signed the affidavit, and it's got literally like 3 remarks. I went in there, or I know Baldwin. I went in his office, took pictures, and I sent them out. Thank you very much, Mitch Westerman. Have a great day. That's like the end of it. And like there's nobody cared about details. Nobody cared about any of it. Right. Well, that's where, Shelly, that's where the big argument comes in is, was it a leak if it wasn't a gag order? And that's where my point is, the definition of the leak is it's information that they didn't want out there that is now out there, right? Isn't that kind of the definition of the leak, of a leak? So they're all leaks. Otherwise, law enforcement would have put out all the information to the public without any hesitation. Instead, there's certain people in law enforcement who either enjoy having like a one-up, or, you know, having the info and providing it to the Barbara McDonalds of the world so that they feel special, or maybe they're like, hey, we want the information out there, but we're being told we can't put it out, so we're going to give it to you so you can put it out. Maybe they're like, you know, hero complexes. I don't know. I can't make sense of it. I hope so, JD Cooper. I hope so. I hope it ain't over, but I feel like it would be. Dustin, did you do it? That's exciting. I've been wanting something like that. Saw that in your comments and took a screenshot to dig into later. Oh, shit. I'm so far behind in chat. Now I don't even know what the hell you guys are talking about. I'm going to scroll down. If I miss a bunch of stuff, I'm really sorry, you guys. Yeah, Robert is the one who passed. Mitch is the one who stole from Baldwin and completed an affidavit and is alive. Correct. In school, he seemed like a follower. Hold on, Kyle. I want to make sure I didn't miss another comment that goes with. He spelled years wrong. Well, I mean, he didn't pass the bar, so. Water loving dog. This is a little bit more chill. A little bit more chill. Oh, really? I don't know much about. I know I have their photo. I mean, I could tell if she's 8 or not, but. Yeah, there's a lot of characters, Chloe's mom. It makes it tough. I should show you guys the. I wonder if I have it handy. I think it's this. Yeah, look at this. Is from one of the Reddit groups. This is the Delphi person of interest list, and this is old. It's not even new. It's old. But look at that. I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't even know anymore. Like trying to figure out all the players and all the people. Shit, did I lose my? Here it is. Okay, so we'll quickly go through these. I'm going to go through them so they're all in one little concise spot. So I'm not going to look at chat for a minute, just so I can read through these and you guys can see. So I try to separate them into kind of the main sections of what we talked about last night. So the first screenshot, which you guys can see right here, this is just when they started talking. That was really the only point of having this screenshot, was to show when Mark ended up in Skip's messenger. Just like, hey, I respect your critical thinking. So it just shows that they started talking on September 12th of 2022. Now, the first conversation really has to do with that everything computers. And he says, like, Mark's like, do you know anything of a warrant served at everything computers? And Skip's response is, yes, it was one of the very first search warrants that was executed. Mark says, do you know why? Mark says, someone brought in 2 laptops to be factory reset 2 days after the murders. The warrant was served at the end of March. Skip says, really? Did he say who it was? That time frame is interesting considering the Ron Logan search. And he says, yeah, it was Ron Logan. Mark says, yeah, it was Ron Logan. You could let the dog in, please. Skip says, yeah, that makes total sense. Holy crap. Mark says, yeah, and the stuff on there, big yikes. And then Skip says, the content, I know he's a perv, so I'm guessing porn type stuff. Mark responds, yeah, really, really sick, violent pornography stuff. So that's kind of the whole beginning of the conversation. The next one is really just kind of leading into like who's talking to him and how they're talking to him, and where they're from. We don't get an actual name. So, oh, Dr. G, you're very welcome. You're not the only one, love. So that's why we're here. So here is a middle conversation, and you have to remember that all these conversations happened between September 12th and March 1st. And that's the wrong date. I'll fix that. That's March 1st, 2023 is the last contact. I'll fix that date. But so the middle they're talking about, so Mark says there was a few warrants, crime scene photos, and notes from Mike Thomas. And Skip says, what kind of crime scene photos? Did you ever find out anything more about the Everything computer? Mark responds, clothing, shoe prints, a carved tree, indentions from what looks like it could be a tripod, nothing majorly graphic, but I believe the person who has these has those as well. Sort of. Just more things about Ron Logan. That's in response to the Everything computer. So this is interesting to me because of the timing of this conversation and the timing of this packet of information. I'm trying not to make it more convoluted. Let me just finish this. And so Mark says, Thomas, they're not from Mike Thomas or Mark Pinkard's circle. This is someone Liggett promised something to and did not deliver, gave it to someone else. And here, Skip says, an employment opportunity? And Mark says, yeah, a nice 9-to-5 gig. Skip says, a politician lying to someone. Shocker. And then Mark says, do you know of a Drew Yoder? This was kind of a point of last night, and I think in a lot in the comments today too, was there's no follow-up on Drew Yoder. And I'm like, Skip, why didn't you ask more about Drew Yoder? Because in my opinion, he's kind of pointing them in that direction, right? I mean, I don't know. You take it for what you want. And Skip says, yeah, he was involved in Flora, right? And Mark says, I don't know anything about Flora. So they're talking about like what he has and what he's getting access to. Now, later on, towards the end of the conversations, when they stop talking, Mark says, I'm going to give it a little time before I send you more photos. Just want to make sure what I sent doesn't get out. If it did, I picked one that it was okay with being out there, just building trust. Skip says, I completely understand. Honestly, I have no one to share anything with, so it definitely won't get out. Don't feel like you have to share anything. I appreciate anything you do share, but it's your call 100%. Mark says, the gist of the new info is that someone lied about something pretty big, and photographic evidence has surfaced that directly, and that's cut off. So hopefully Mark will send me, or not Mark, hopefully Skip will send me the rest of that message because I want to see what it says. And then Mark says, I think you know what I'm saying without me actually having to say it. Skip says, you mentioned that this person was planning on leaking something, but changed their mind. Were they going to leak the photos you have? And Skip says, I'm not 100% sure I do, but that's okay. Sometimes I'm not real insightful. Mark says, yeah, they were planning on leaking 3 photos, the knife, the carving, and the one I'm referencing. And when I asked Skip which one he was referencing, he talks about that it was the tripod photo they had been talking about. So I obviously can't go any further than that. So that's what we know from that. Later on, Mark tells him, I think for now, we're not going to leak anything. We are not going to leak anything. I've mulled it over for a few days and just don't think it's the right time. Skip says, I hear you, no problem. I'm not sure what I have to do with leaking anything, but if you want me to look at anything or verify it, just let me know. Mark says, new development, more or less this person is getting, and then that one's cut off. So this, I try to just cut it down into what the most important pieces kind of got pulled out of there. So let me go through and see what questions you guys have just regarding this. And then I want to touch on this other part of the leak that for sure, but until Mark comes forward, I can't believe him. I don't understand what he'd have to hide from if he only got them randomly and only sent them to Murder Sheet to give to Ellie. What also doesn't explain that he already has photos of this kind of stuff from back in between September of 2022 and March of 2023. So he already has a source. So Ron Logan and his alibi, or I don't know. I was laughing at Stella's comment. Yeah. And I thought that was interesting too. So then how does Yoder play into this? I feel like that. JD Coop, you know what? It's funny that you say that because I thought the same thing. I was like, he's actually going to take it in and have somebody actually factory reset it. And then I was also curious because I've obviously never done that. Do they actually go through your stuff when they're factory resetting your computer? And did he just not know how to do it himself? And maybe he decided that he needed to have him factory reset because the girls were found on his property. And he already knew that law enforcement hates him. And he was already coming up with a lie about how he wasn't there. Maybe he just was like, they're going to be coming for me. And now, I'm on probation. They can come in and get what they want, essentially, which they did. They went in and got his guns and ammo. And then they went back and got a search warrant for the rest. And they collected computers, apparently. So maybe he just knew and he was like, I got to get rid of this shit. But he does seem more like I'd throw it in the river or take it to the dump and smash the shit out of it. That's what he seems like to me. Yeah, that's my question. Doesn't make a lot of sense. The guy shouldn't have really done anything wrong, but he can tell he's been involved in a lot over the years. He's definitely been involved in every big piece of information that's been coming out. He's right there for it. He's right there for it. Oh, thank you for joining, Gavel Geeks. My thoughts on Elvis are that you cannot discount Elvis, and that investigation should have continued. Is Elvis being honest? I have no idea. What's the follow-up? How much did they follow up? I mean, he literally tells Murphy, if you find my spit on one of the girls and I can explain it, am I going to be okay? But in the memorandum, we don't actually get to hear what the response is. Like, what does Murphy say? Like, no, why would your spit be on the girls? Or, yeah, sure, buddy, no problem. Have a nice day. Like, there's more to it, We're missing a lot of pieces. I think you're right, Alley Cat, and you probably are like, yeah, of course I'm right. That's why I said it. But I do. I'm really starting to think that you're right. There's some crazy shit happening in this tiny ass town that nobody was supposed to know about. Yeah, no need to pay. Well, I mean, he was 77 at the time, I think. So would they actually look at all this stuff? No way. No way. Is that true? I don't know if he was. I'm not sold that he was involved in anything. Did he end up knowing something later? Ron Logan does strike me as the person who does not like law enforcement. So I could imagine that he would, if he did find out something, that he probably would be like, fuck that. I'm no snitch. And if he found out something later, I don't think he was involved. I don't know. That's what my gut tells me. I don't think he was there. I don't think he was involved. And he doesn't seem like a stupid man that he would leave them on his own property, especially if he had time to get rid of them. That's a great question, Kelt. Right? Mm-hmm. Yoder. This one sketch does look like Elvis. Yeah, he'd be like, get your ass back in here, Elvis. We ain't done now. Come on back. Oh, that's true. Yeah. That they know that he has it, but he needs to get rid of what's on it. Miss Marple, my thought process on this is that he had been told when the girls were last seen. And if he knew that law enforcement was going to bury him regardless, because I don't think they had a very good relationship. So he knew no matter what, he was going to be a prime person that they were going to look at. And he knew when the girls went missing. I think that's why he would ask his cousin to lie. It's hard to ever prove that because we don't know when, who, or how he was told that the girls were missing because he lied. But that's my opinion. So obviously, like I said, I got nothing to back that up but my own thought process. So I take it for what you want. JC, I can't believe that. I did not know that. That's true. Yeah, I don't go with the 77-year-old he couldn't have done it. I just go with the it doesn't make sense that he did it. Was the vehicle that RL was in that day picked up on any cameras? You know what? There was one thing. Where did I see that? I don't know where I saw it, so I don't want to say, but there was something that said there was a lot of cars that were picked up on that Hoover Harvest Store camera, that there was a lot of cars on there. Speaking of cameras, I need to correct something I had said, and I was saying that Derek was caught on the Mears camera. I was wrong. It wasn't the Mears camera. I don't know, and I knew what I was talking about, but I said Mears, and people are like, it's not the Mears camera. So I need to make sure that I correct that for you guys. Anybody who is listening to that live or comes back and listens, I guess I should put a note in it. It was on the Weber camera. Derek was seen on the Weber's camera. I don't know why I'm struggling with mixing those two up. I keep doing it with the damn barn too. And so maybe if you guys hear me say Mars or Weber, or God, you hear me say Mars, Jesus Christ. If you hear me say Mears or Weber, just clarify with me which one I'm talking about, because my brain just meshes them, even though I know South and I know like one's on the south side of the river and the other one's on the north side of not the river, the creek, but I don't know why I keep doing that. But it was, Derek was seen on the Weber's camera and somebody on a bicycle. So just make sure that you guys know that was my screw up, and it probably won't be the last time. Yeah, you did. Because I keep mixing those two up for some reason in my brain. Myers, Mayers, Mears, Myers. I know, it's like, shit. I should probably just write it down, and then I can just be like, okay, here's everything that has to do with Weber, and here's everything that has to do with Mears. Yeah, and I don't know if that's the person they caught on the bike. I assume it is, but I can't say that for sure, Kel. But that's what I think. Delana! Hi, Thistle. Oh, thank you, Savannah. Yeah, but people are going to be like, Teresa on Criminality was telling us that Derek was seen on the Mears camera, and we thought the Mears camera was broke, and then here I am being the person who's spreading bad information, which I fucking hate. So, yeah, write it 4 times. I'd probably have to write it more than that, C-Dub. But I swear that there was something that I either have or I saw that said that there was like a lot of cars that were seen on that Hoosier Harvest Store camera. Hi, Julio. I think everybody was like, okay, we just need to put it all together. Let me see what else. I think that this pretty much sums up a lot of what this is. This is the timeline about the crime scene photo leak, which I still, and then the F tree. All right, so let me think. Is there any other questions or thoughts or comments that you guys have on the stuff from yesterday that I can clarify or answer? Let me see if he responded to me by chance. Let me see. Where can you access all the info that you're showing? That's what I'm going to try to make that link shareable. But all these other things are just being made to put in there. So hopefully Let me see if I can do it while you guys are asking questions. Because honestly, I feel like that's not it. Come on. I think I have to do it when it's done because it can be exported to a PDF. Otherwise, I can't seem to get it. I don't know. I need to figure it out. I just haven't really put too much effort into that because it's not done. So, I mean, anything I show, I can remove that and you can take a screenshot. If you want to screenshot what there is, I can do them one at a time. Will someone please remind me what the hearing for October 31st was supposed to be for? I wonder if that's why everything went sideways. Well, since she's not very clear on anything that she was putting on her docket, it's really hard to be able to tell you what it was for. I assume it was for, it was scheduled as like a status hearing. I assumed it was for scheduling and what was going to happen with the Franks motion that they had submitted. Now, the one on the 19th was also very, what's the right word? It was not very clear. On what the meaning behind it was, but obviously the intention was to get rid of the attorneys, in my opinion. Mark and Robert, who killed himself, are they both from Delphi, Indiana, or another state? Mark is from Texas. Robert is not from Delphi. He's from a city in that area, though. Hi, Shar. PD thinks the F is a handprint or a blood smear. I don't think it's that. I think whatever it is intentional. Now, do I think it's actually an F? I don't know. And this is the tough part that, for me anyway, the person who put the F there or whatever it is the only one that's really going to be able to tell you what it means. That's like if I start making hand signals and they don't mean anything and they mean something to me, but they don't mean anything to you, you're not going to know what I'm talking about. Or if they only mean something to me and my daughter, then you're not going to know what the heck that means. Does that make sense? So, where are the carvings? So Skip had said that when he was talking with Mark, that carved tree did change into a marked tree. And I had heard carved tree for a very long time, long before this too. So I don't know. That was all part of that whole ritual. Everything was, I'd heard something was carved into the tree and something was carved on one of the girls. I think we're looking now, it's probably nothing was carved on one of the girls, but I don't know. It still could have been. Did Gold get another extension? Not that I'm aware of, unless she got one today and I don't know it. Sleuthy, are you in here? Sleuthy will know. Hey, Stephanie. I think the handprint and sticks are intentional, but I don't know if it's Odinism. Right. Hold on real quick, you guys. Okay, let me see. Oh, C-Dub, that's kind of crazy. Reread the Woodhouse text. Oh, you want to go through those? We can go through those. I should, before we go too far. Hi, True Crime Web. Oh, I appreciate you. I love your channel. I'm like honored right now. I love your channel. If I just tell the truth, everything will be okay. I know, that's interesting. No, Kelt, I haven't done it. We should do it. We should do it. But I wanted to talk about this other situation, and I don't want to talk too much on it because I'm not overly familiar with it. So I feel like I don't want to give you guys bad information. So I just want to touch on it because it is something that is important. And from where I stand right now, I believe it ties into this. Um, there was a lady who had gone to the hearings, and when she left, she said that somebody had left like an envelope of information on her car. And this is why I said I don't want to go too far into it because I don't have dates. I don't know all the precise things about it. So I just wanted it to be out there because I think it ties to this, because I think this is the person who is also tied to these old information that Mark may have had. I don't have proof of that. It's just kind of where I'm at. But so she supposedly received like a package or an envelope on her car that had information in it that was to be given to her. From my understanding, what I was told, this is something once I can finish this part of the dig, I will happily look into that, but I'm not looking into it currently. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But from what I was told, she went to law enforcement and turned everything in. So, but if there's rumors now with all this new information being leaked that there's possibly a tie there, and that person could potentially be the one that's doing this, or could be the female person that maybe Robert was also talking to. But when like I said, I don't have that lined out, so I can't really give it to you yet. Yes, essentially, yeah, an envelope that was full of pieces of discovery. Yeah. Yeah, Dr. G's like, yep. Okay, let me pull this up real quick. So I wanted to touch on that because I think that as we dig further into it, I do think it's going to end up tying together. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. But I need to find you know what? I think I have it over here. That's what I was told too. That's what I was told too. I don't know though. Heard it on the X. Is that did you used to be heard it on the Twitter? I have to know. Did you have to change your name at the same time? Give me a second, guys. I'm just pulling it up. We can review that. I needed more of a calmer live tonight. So thank you guys for giving that to me. Dun, 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 dun. I shall find it, I swear. Here it is. Okay, you guys ready? We're going to go through So this is the video that Brandon Woodhouse put out about his messages with Mark Robert. They are definitely a little scattered. He does try to mark out Mark's name, but so it's. I mean, if it doesn't flow very well, just know I can't make it flow any better. Well, we'll go through it. So in purple is going to be Brandon Woodhouse, and in the gray is going to be Mark Robert. So he sends him this picture, which is, don't know where that picture comes from, so take that for what you want. Then he sends him these side by side, and Brandon says, Adrian, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So Brandon says, oh my God, bro. Mark says, I think the young sketch is Logan Maxwell. Brandon says, is that Logan? Mark says, yes. And then puts a picture of Logan Maxwell. If you're not familiar with who Logan Maxwell is, the very first gosh darn myself. The very first search warrant that was actually put out in this case was put out to Logan Maxwell's parents' house. Logan had just moved out of his parents' house. And so they actually, you always hear like the search warrant on Bicycle Street. That search warrant was done at his parents' house. And I believe it was done because he was seen at the bridge that day. So, says, is that Logan? Brandon says, holy shit. And what people is he connected to? Let's see if I can, what does that say? I've received several phone calls over the past several days. Let me zoom in on this. Hold on. I've received several phone calls over the past several days from media outlets regarding Mr. Ronald Logan and his possible involvement in the deaths of the girls in Carroll County. I have known Mr. Logan for several years and have represented him in, I don't know what that says. I would like to caution the public to avoid jumping to conclusions. This is from like Hillis and Hillis. Looks like an attorney. Brandon says he looks fucking evil as fuck. Mark says he was talking with Libby online. They exchanged pictures. Brandon says, holy fuck, bro. Mark says, was seen walking on 300 around 4 by Sarah Carball and Tara German. That's interesting, right? Timing. Interesting timing there. But Brandon says, why are they protecting him? Mark sends a screenshot of Tara German that says there was a kid named Logan that Libby had chatted with, Jim Maxwell's oldest son named Logan, but he didn't live at home at the time of the murders. I found out a few months after they searched that he bought a house a block away from me. That kid is definitely creepy and is also someone I seen the day of the 13th on railroad tracks, I'm assuming that is, that lead to the bridge. Also, Jim Maxwell has several, I actually think I have this screenshot. I have a screenshot of this conversation. Has several firearms and many were taken the night of the search. I wonder if that alone is enough to allow them a search warrant. So this is the post from I don't know why I can't speak tonight. Tara German. Mark says they botched the search, dude. They searched his dad's house. He didn't live there. Brendan says, oh my God, that's right, bro. Is he a fall guy? That's the same one. RA is a fall guy. Who is the other sketch of? Remember, these are in August of this year. Mark says, it's of Jimmy Duvall. What is this? What is this? What do you guys see on here? What is this? Does this not look like what Julie was describing last night? She said it was straight across. That's Jimmy Duvall. I know, but what's on here? What is this? A watermark. What watermark? I need to look into that. I'm going to look into that. I need to make note of that real quick. Is that on the one that's posted online? Because I mean, I have this picture. Is that posted on there? I don't think so. Let me go look at my photo real quick. Oh, Jimmy, where are you? Jimmy. Reflection, right? It's a watermark from a mugshot aggregator. No, it's a mugshot of Jimmy Duvall because he was not a good dude. But I saved those pictures somewhere. Hold on. It is. It's on this one. It's on the one that's online. That's really interesting to me. It actually says, I'm going to send it to Julie so she can compare it. It says something.com, estimated facts, something extract. Somebody, if you look it up online, that's what their mugshots are because there's more of them. Arrest facts, maybe? All right, move past that because it's obviously not important right this second, but it's something I just wanted to look at. Yeah, I don't know. It depends on how much you believe, but isn't that interesting? Because if Tara and Sarah saw the same guy that out there on the street, then Tara would have seen the muddy and bloody guy, right? Otherwise, I don't know. And you had the whole family there by 3:57. That's one of the biggest issues I have with Sarah Carbaugh's testimony to begin with, is you have the whole family there at that time. And then you have the killer that's just walking by muddy and bloody, doesn't show up on the Hoover Harvest Store. He's a bad guy from the area, and he actually the biggest reason he's connected is because one of the witnesses in the juveniles actually had said that the guy she saw looked like Jimmy Duvall. Hi, Jeanette, honey. Yeah, but they didn't see anything supposedly. Hey, Tornado. Okay, so that's interesting though. It's an interesting photo. But Riley Voorhees says it looked like him. So the sketch artist really made it look like him in the hopes that his mother would turn him in. So this is also interesting because a lot of us at the very beginning of this, the old bridge guy sketch, everybody was kind of told a different story about where it came from. Some people thought it was the lady who saw him on 300 North. Most people thought it actually came from Riley Voorhees, but there was a handful of us, including myself, that were under the understanding that it came from the video and that FBI had actually created the sketch based on what they could figure out from the video. Hi, Twisted Gemini. Yes, I have Apophis does have a channel. Can one of the mods drop his channel? Drop their channel? Right. I agree, Jenny. So, Brandon says, said it looked like Alan or Jimmy. And then he sends the photo of the girls together. So at this point in time, he has this photo of the girls together at 125. Or 126. It's the one that the girls were taking by the bench that they sent to their mom. And that's the one that they look at. They look at and say, oh, well, yeah, this is when we saw him right after we took this picture. So that's that photo. So he sends that to Brandon Woodhouse. He sent, this is Mark again. I ran facial recognition software and found him. Share like crazy. His name is Jimmy Duvall from Kokomo, and he's on the run. There's the photo again. Brandon says, wow, does the defense have this evidence? Because remember, Brandon thinks Richard Allen is innocent. Jimmy Duvall says, hey, dumbasses, I didn't work yesterday. I gave a voluntary swab, which all of you should do. You need to get your heads out of your asses, but don't believe me. Call Detective Banush at this number. Brandon says, does he know Logan? Mark says, I'm not sure what they have gathered. Duvall, pick. I have evidence that Anna Williams knows Richard Allen. Brandon says, so Duvall and Logan don't know each other. Why the two sketches? I just got lost. Mark says, LOL, I really have to get to bed, but I can explain everything. Brandon says, okay, we can pick up here late. We can pick up later, brother. I'm shocked. Like, wow, one last thing. Who are the two girls in the photo? Mark says, those are the girls from the Freedom Bridge who saw BG. That's the photo they took by the benches and sent to their mother, Mary. This photo really helped establish a timeline. Riley and Isabella Voorhees. He says, hell yes, it did. Get you some rest, brother. The evidence I have shows many interviews to an R. Voorhees. Now remember, let me find it again because I lose everything, of course, that this is what Brandon has, that he was accidentally sent by the defense team. And it shows in here all the interviews and the dates that people were interviewed. No, come on, I just want to get out of this. Let me out. Okay. Hold on, let me see what's going on. I'm way behind, but I went back and listened to Chris Todd recently, who refers to the clothes as the crime scene pics, and later said he didn't have pics of the girls, but was trying to get them. All right. He also makes the comment, though, that he knows that the girl that he is aware that they were both nude at one point, which the only way he could know that would be to know prior to the public knowing that the underwear and the sock were missing. That's what I think. But okay. Mark says, I have something that will blow your mind regarding the Voorhees family. Brandon says, it all makes sense. I have what you don't have. I have their whole timeline. If we put our stuff together, we would see the whole picture. Mark says, agreed. He says, get some rest, get some sleep, brother, and lay low. Mark says, will do. You as well. We can do this. Brandon says, we can. I believe in us. Mark says, listen to those tapes I emailed you when you can. He says, I like that you're smart. Okay. Mark then responds and says, just got to work. This is August 13th. Just got to work, working all day. As soon as I get home tonight, I'll message you. You have my word. Brandon says, okay, have a good day at work and stay safe. I live in the middle of nowhere, and man came walking down my gravel road towards my house, a mile to get to my house, and then walked half mile past and just disappeared. It was the strangest thing. Mark says, damn, that's weird. Just got home. Long day. This is now the 14th at 1:30 in the morning. Brandon says, what's up, bro? Yeah, I bet. You work 12-hour days, huh? I'm tired of these internet junkies for Delphi shit already. I got something no one has seen. Can you keep it between us? The corruption goes beyond Delphi, only in Carroll County. Mark says, of course. Brandon says, let me see if I can send it from my Google Drive to here. Mark says, okay. Says, promise me you won't let this out because I'm fighting these corrupt people so hard, brother. So this is why I thought that maybe this was when he downloaded it, but I thought that he got it on Easter. But then they're saying that it was actually back in December. So I'm kind of confused on that still. I'm not 100%. Maybe he just downloaded it that day. So he sends him the Google Drive and he says, Mark says, I really want to bring these fuckers down. And Brandon says, read the link. It happened Easter morning 2023. Let me ask you this. Yeah? Do you think he set you up? I've been set up 5 times in 5 years, so it's hard for me to decipher who you speak of. He says, Baldwin, like used you to leak his discovery, especially since when he sent you this was after he made the big announcement of Alan's mistreatment at Westville. Baldwin, leaked the evidence to me, but I have to be truthful as a brother can be. I don't know if it was intentional. I know our conversations were very deep. Anybody who, so just a little backstory here. Because they were looking into the Odinism, they actually contacted a local Odin, a person who practices Odinism. Brandon Woodhouse is an Odinist. So they were talking, Baldwin was talking to him to get an understanding of some of the things that were happening, you know, and just more about Odinism in general. That's how they actually knew each other. A lot of people keep saying he was his old client, but I don't think that's true. I think it was just because they were talking that way. He says, it's hard to say. I know Mike Thomas did something similar. Have you heard about that incident? Brennan says, I know he has not responded to the TCN and he is down to 54D. Yes to answer to it. I don't understand that. So this is Andy Baldwin. As you can imagine, we have received dozens and dozens of tips. I must say that yours is the most compelling. This is from Mark. Mark sending the screenshot, by the way. I must say that yours is the most compelling. Someone from my office will be calling you soon to arrange a time to have further discussion if that is okay with you. I certainly appreciate the time you took to collect this information and send it to me. I met with Rick Allen yesterday and watched him cry while expressing his innocence. I've done this a long time and I believe he is innocent. It's early and I have not seen any evidence yet, as we have not yet received any evidence. I could be wrong about Rick. However, my instincts are usually correct. You are not the first person to identify this person as the actual killer, but no one has provided as much detail as you have. Again, thank you. It may end up being a dead end, or it may be the type of email that tips the first domino in the direction that leads to Rick's exoneration. Either way, thank you, and I look forward to talking to you soon if you are willing. Kindest regards, Andy Baldwin. So it's not addressed to anybody, so I don't know who exactly it was to, but we'll see. Brandon says, I've heard about Mike. I know Mike and his brother. The TCN I just sent you is from Mark Thomas's officer, who was chief of Flora and Delphi officer, Clint McClellan, committing a home invasion on me and then brutally assaulted me. You say Mike went through same thing as me? All right, hold on. Just want to make sure you guys have, if you have questions, I can answer them before I don't know what the heck the question is. Even so, Mark was in contact with Baldwin. I'm so lost. Kel, no, Brandon Woodhouse was in contact with Baldwin. Brandon Woodhouse was in contact with Baldwin because Baldwin was talking to Woodhouse about Odinism and to learn more about Odinism. Oh, I definitely think they're real. I definitely think they're real because the information that he gives him in these messages is exactly what Dread Pirate 33 puts out on Reddit. I agree with that too. Especially, you don't know that person's mindset and what their mental health is to just be talking to them. But, you know, I don't know. And he is local, so maybe they're talking to him because maybe he knows the insides of this particular crew. That I'm not aware of. It's possible. This conversation itself is between Brandon and Mark. Now, this screenshot that Mark sent Brandon, I know it's layered, and I'm sorry, you guys. I'm doing my best to try to separate the layers for everybody. This interaction here that Mark sends to Brandon has to do with Andrew Baldwin, according to Mark, but I don't know who it's actually to. It's wild, and so there's so many layers to it. And if you guys go back to the first live I did when we very first started talking Delphi after the memorandum, and I'm like, You could go down 50,000 rabbit holes and never be done with this case. Here we are. So this is the TCN I sent you is from Mark Thomas's officer. I don't know what that is. What's a TCN? Does anybody know what that is? So many holes. I know, so many holes. Hey, Jay Turner. Okay, so according to Brandon, he was talking to him about Odinism. Is that incorrect? That's what Brandon says on his lives. Okay, so you guys are, well, thank you guys for coming in and saying that then. Brandon said on there that he had talked to him about the Odinism. Transaction control number. Yeah, here's all your tentacles. Here's where I will agree with Carter, all the tentacles. But what is this transact? It's about Brandon's lawsuit. Okay, is that what that has to do with? I know Mike and his brother, the TCN, so the transaction control number I just sent you is from Mark Thomas's officer, who was chief of Flora, and Delphi City officer Clint McClelland committing a home invasion on me and then brutally assaulting me. You say Mike went through the same thing as me? That's very confusing. Tentacle control numbers. There we go. He probably said both then, and maybe it was both. Maybe they were talking about both. I'm almost positive he said that that's from Brandon. I'm going to go with a 99%, Jay Turner. I'll go back and listen and clarify. But I'm 90, and some of Brandon's freaking videos are gone, so I can't even listen to them anyway. But maybe he said both, because I'm almost positive he says that he was talking to Baldwin about the Odinism stuff. But we'll keep going. Okay, so we'll just say for right now that is open. We don't actually, I don't have a good answer, and I don't want to put out bad info. So we'll research and see why Brandon thinks that Baldwin was talking to him. Okay. So no, Mike Thomas, the CC investigator, leaked information about the Delphi murders by accidentally leaving sensitive information on the hood of a car. He left it intentionally, something person to find it. Intentionally for a specific person to find it. Brandon says, wow, bro, was he talking about you? Mark says, no comment. But I've provided a lot of information to people who make sure the right people see it. Brandon says, oh shit, that makes sense. Thomas wanted to give the public answers, but Tobe Lesenby shut him down and took his job. Mark says, yes, exactly. Baldwin wants the discovery public. Brandon says, do you know who he intended to pick it up? Mark says, definitely. You're gonna shit when you hear this. You're gonna shit when you hear this. He says, oh man. On 4/26/2023, I had a psych break and called 911. Police arrived, arrested my brother while they released me. And 3 hours after the release, I called my lawyer to see if I could go get my dog. He said, sure, just don't go in the house if they have a search warrant searching it. I said, but they never showed me the warrant. Later, it was said that Judge Diener emailed the warrant to police, LOL. When I went back for my dog, 6 cops tackled me and all laid on each other, making QWERTY pile of cops on me. Either wasn't even in the house. I was trying to get my dog from animal control. They charged me with 37 years of charge because I'm now being charged as a SVF with a handgun. The cops kicked my dad's room open, Busting the deadbolt, went in and found my dad's 3 rifles, and get this, took his .40 caliber handgun. Keep in mind, my dad is an ex-Carroll County deputy, but they took his .40 cal and said they found it in my room in the upstairs apartment. I'm facing 33 to 37 years. My trial is next month. Does anybody else find it interesting on what caliber gun they took? That he's claiming they took, I should say. You can't make this shit up. I swear. This needs to be like a movie at this point. It's nuts. Okay. Mark says, damn, man, why you? How can we put them on blast? Says, sorry, brother. My girl was fighting with me last night, so I kind of deviated from our conversation, but your last question is mine as well. He says, Mark says, no worries, man. Trust me. I get that. Women. Ha, ha, ha. Brandon says, yeah, but mine is not the average bear. She's a grizzly crossed with a polar bear. He says, oh, damn. Then here you have Delphi Matter Andrew Baldwin from Matt H. Good evening. My name is Matt, and I am the investigator that is following up on new leads for attorney Andrew Baldwin. I received a message from the office today that you left a message and that you have information that may be important to the Delphi case. I would very much like to follow up with you concerning your information. Please feel free to reply to me or call this number. You may also text me anytime. I look forward to hearing from you. Brandon says, I tried to help Baldwin and he burned me. I think R.A. is innocent. Mark says, fully innocent, question mark? He says, I can't say fully for sure yet, but I don't feel as though he did the actual murders. I feel as though there is a very strong occultic shroud encompassing the whole city of Delphi, including the murders. I haven't shared that opinion with anyone. I heard two separate recordings from 2 separate people that describe the same symbol being seen on the tracks or track in the woods, and the same symbol being found on one of the girls, I believe Abby. One of the recordings came from you to my email. The man on the other recording also stumbled across a ritual site in the woods. I have lived here my whole life, and that is the 3rd confirmed ritual site that has been found that I know of, but the 5th incident. When I was Abby and Libby's age, I was in the woods near my home and was mushroom hunting when I started to see movement through the trees about 60 yards at my 2 o'clock. So me and my brother, being young and startled, quietly went to our bellies and watched to see what it was. And the closer the objects got, we were able to see 2 people in black hooded robes following closely behind a person in a red hooded robe. We took off running as soon as they passed. A couple weeks later, police came to my house to question me about a ritual site found in the woods. The officer said he wanted me to tell him what I knew about the site because they found a bunch of sacrificed dogs and puppies at the site. The dogs were slit at the throat and the dogs were bled out at the neck. I'm assuming that's bled, completely filling up a garbage type can. I told the officer what I saw a half a mile away from the site location, and he still insisted I was involved. I couldn't get him to change his mind. Allegedly, the girls were found at a location where there was almost no blood, but yet they bled out. Mark responds with this symbol. Brandon says, that is a symbol from the Asatru alphabet. It's a rune symbol used in my religion as well. I practice Odinism, but cults use it as well. So remember, the symbols and all of that stuff, we'd heard many different things over the years. And I know that F really kind of took on its own life around the end of last year. And so this is in August. So what do you know about the F? This is prior to the memorandum. Yes, he possibly could. I don't know. But it's an interesting picture because I remember Brad Holder has on his Facebook all the carvings in his table. So he sends him this. Sends him this. Look at Google Earth and backdate it to another year in the month of February. Brandon says, the symbol you sent me is the letter F in the runic alphabet. I'm thinking the symbol used was the arrow, which is the letter T and represents protection, if I remember right. And he sends this, the explosion of trade and interaction. This is the arrow that's supposed to be the letter T. And he sends him this, the T right here. Mark says, I believe I was told it was an ansus that was carved into the tree. Okay, remember, this is still August. We don't have there's no memorandum out yet. Mark says, I was shown the invoice from the tree company when they were hired to remove the tree. I read the transcript of Richard Allen's confession to Kathy. Okay, so there are 3 descriptions. Can you send the transcript? It says, I do not have the hard copy from Westville, just shown what was transcribed and the events prior to and after his confession. Believe he is innocent fully? Can we establish that? Either way, I am still your ally. Mark says, hard to say. I believe he is innocent, unless the story about Marcos Salinas turning in Allen turns out to be true. This is wild. I know. I know, Sugar Magnolia. I know. Okay, I don't want to put that on there. It's probably not her number anymore, but he puts on there Kathy Allen's number. He says, I speak with her occasionally. This is still Mark. Brandon says, let me check the tip list. Mark says, she told me in depth about their interviews on October 13th. In depth. So if this is true, now he's saying that he's talking to Kathy Allen. Oh, Robin, that's a whole, yeah, we're gonna have to go. That's a whole nother one. I feel like there's already so many layers that like people are gonna get lost again. And the whole purpose of this live was to make it so you guys weren't lost anymore after yesterday. So I don't know. So now if this guy is actually working for anybody, and now he's talking to Kathy, and I'm skeptical. Heck yeah, Lone Pony, stay skeptical, babe, because that's where I'm at. I'm so skeptical of all of it. No way a jury could follow this. I mean, hopefully they have much better information, and I don't even know if some of this would ever even come into play. I don't think a jury would ever see most of this stuff. It's left for us, the general public, to try to mess through. Marcos Salinas told Russ McQuaid a wild story in November of 2022. Brandon says, okay, let me check the date. I will tell you everything from the 13th. He says, Marcos talked to Liggett and CCSO on October 4th, 2022. I will tell you what she told me as well. Kathy originally gave consent to search. This is, if you guys remember, this is when they're searching and Richard Allen was outside. So here you go. Here you start to see the thumbnail or the thumb drive map coming through. So he starts to show that. He says, did the photo come through? He says, this one. He says, that's all I have for the 13th. He says, Salinas would have been October 4th. It says YQ1. I don't know what that is. So and then he sends this one. All marked out. He says, oh, and listed as a CI. That's the other thing that Mark says, that Salinas would have been listed as a CI. Says, let me check. Then Mark says, Kendra Henderson listed confirms something for me, definitely. Says, David, you told me you found the girls. I just want to confirm the second person with you was Ivan and the third was a lady. These are the leaked text messages. These are the leaked text messages from David Erskine. These were the first 2 cops on the scene, Drew Yoder and Darren Giannacoa. So if not RA, who do you believe it is? He says, sorry, I have case management. I will be done in 15. Mark says, no worries. I'm off all day. I've got nothing but time. Are you worried you will be put under the gag order? Brendan says, no, I'm not. McClellan says he wants to put me on trial to burn me. He says, but why wouldn't you be gagged for Delphi? I'd imagine that would be a top priority for him. Definitely glad that you aren't, though. Hope we can talk more today. It's my only day off. Hope you are okay. He says, yeah, I'm all right. Just me and my girl are not getting along. I had to send her the fuck home. I can't play little kitty bullshit with a narcissistic bipolar who denies meds like Satanists deny Christ. Intrigue me, please. Mark says, how so? AutoZone employee, October 3rd, name, discrete location, Peru, Indiana, ring a bell. Whatever was said at AutoZone on 10/3/2022 sparked the investigation back up. I have evidence that shows they took 2-year break without so much as an interview until good old AutoZone. Name discrete, gotta be your CI. He said AutoZone employee? Yes, in Peru, Indiana. So nothing from July of 2022? Says nothing from what I have. Unless you have something I don't know about, let me double check. It says July 2022 requests of Google Docs from Abby's emails. So remind you, this is what he's sending to Brandon. So this isn't on Brandon's list. And then there is the Russ McQuaid, Marcos Salinas story. Yeah, and the Marcos Salinas stuff happened on October 3rd. He originally said it happened on October 4th, but now he's saying October 3rd. Says, I got some stuff, but don't know if it will help. Notes without dates. Says, okay, write this down. Okay, so what's this? The phone number, there's more. Now, here is, I don't even know what this is. This is the affidavit. I think this is, I don't know if it's the PCA. Said, what do I do with this? He said, the page you just sent me. That's about Marcos Salinas. Russ McQuaid told people Salinas told him that he rolled on Allen. McQuaid is a reporter for Fox 59. Okay. I don't know how this says that, but right here. On May 31st, 2022, Detective Liggett met with Marcos Salinas. Marcos denied ever searching. I don't know what this is actually for then. This is count 1, child molesting, count 2, child molesting. Marcos Salinas, this is from Marcos Salinas' PCA. That's what this is. That's another bad guy in the area. They're all, yeah, a bunch of bad guys. And this is also from Tony Liggett. So take that one for what you want. Okay, what girl did this happen to? He says, let me check 1 second. Okay, I know the mom's name is Randy. I'm looking now for the kid's name. Says, so I need to know your direct opinion from what you know right now because we have a lot of shit and I need to know if we're on board with one another. I do think RA is innocent of 2 counts of murder. Now, did Salinas know RA because RA to me looked part Mexican? Says Leanne, that's her name. He says, okay, who is Stellantis? He says, I'm with you, dude. He's a child molester. Okay, he rolled on Allen? That's what McQuaid said Salinas told him. No, Salinas. Who then? I'm going to send you something. Guard it with your life, no doubt. Sends him this. Sorry, wrong pick. And then he sends this. Which I think we have that one not marked out. That's the other side of my girl above. The trick is to work all the time. I barely see mine. Read that page like 3 times and ask yourself, who is Stellantis and why did he report Allen changing jobs? I'm almost positive that has to do with the cars, does it not? Let me go back and look really quick. Right here, yeah, it's the Chrysler. It's Stellantis is the car. It's the car place. Stellantis is who took over Chrysler, right? Somebody will correct me if I'm wrong on that. Email from Stellantis at 1:30. Email from Stellantis at 9:01 a.m. Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought too. I'm like, that's not a person. That's a car. That's a car place. Okay. Read the page like 3 times. Ask yourself, who is Stellantis and why did he report Allen changing jobs? He says, what's the phone number Googled? I don't know. I'm about to call it. Let's run it first or do a reverse number search. He says, I know good old Andrew Baldwin was so happy when he got those documents. He sent them to me. Dumbass, don't trust him or Rozzy. I'm telling you, Baldwin will get what he wants from you and throw you to the wolves after. So here's another one that he sends. Says, I know good old Anno, that one's already done. He said, so he sends it unredacted, or he posts it unredacted, then he redacts it. Says, I don't know if that will help you. He says it will. They did a subpoena on Dollar General, bro, and afterwards they got a copy of the phone that was sold that they were looking for. Why, bro? Why? Why they want a copy? To switch SIMs? Says, yeah, bro, my chin has a callus too. Laughing my ass off. There are also IEMI numbers listed. Right. Any geofence warrants? He says, elaborate. So creating a fence and honing in on all phones in very specific area at specific times. I do believe here he goes. I do believe Alan is innocent. Stellantis is the name of the particular Chrysler plant. Tony Klein worked there. Oh, there we go. Okay, he does say it. Father of Keegan Klein. Brace yourself for this one. The man behind the Anthony Shots account. Keegan has a sister, and my girl and his sister are lifelong friends. He says, Mallory? He said, we stayed at a hotel in Lafayette. This is Brandon. We stayed at a hotel in Lafayette a month ago, and I had already went to the indoor pool, and my girl comes in 10 minutes later after talking to the clerk. She said, I just saw the strangest person. I said, who's that? She said, Keegan, Mallory's brother. I said, no way. Baby, he's locked up. You're seeing ghosts. She said, shut up, Brandon. I can identify him as well as I could you. I said, Keegan Klein is who you saw. She said, yes, he just checked in. I even said, hey, Keegan. Hold on, I just lost my place for some reason. Hey, Keegan, as he was about to turn the corner, and he stopped, turned around, and looked at me, and turned back around and kept walking. It was right after Andrew Baldwin came to the jail. I said, Ashley, are you sure it was Keegan? She said, for sure it was Keegan, with a couple other men. I don't think so. I don't think we've gone there yet. It says, no fucking way. It says, yes, bro. I used to hang out with Ash and Mallory. But here's the thing. I mean, he knows who that is. So I think that's interesting too. But whatever. When RA got charged, Keegan's felonies dropped from 30 to 25 that day. There's a phone number. It says, I know that you will be a star witness for the prosecution, and it showed that you are a good person and you did the right thing. The truth will come out. I'm not a witness. I have nothing to do with that case. Please leave me alone. Do you still talk to Bart? He has been working out a lot, and I don't think you would recognize him. He's ripped. Something about Holly. He said, this is from Klein. When he was chirping. He says, who is Bart? He says, his brother. And Holly, his girlfriend. He met after he got arrested. He was offered a night at a hotel with her for proving information about Delphi. I have no idea how true that is or not, so take that with a grain of salt. Brandon says, get the fuck out of here. He says, 100% a night at a hotel with champagne. He says, I was there with my girl and our little one. Oh my gosh, bro. What the fuck? I can't believe what I'm reading right now. Damn. It was in June, I believe. June or July would fit. Yes, June, my girl is very smart, despite being ferocious. She's seen Keegan more times than anyone I know. Oh my God, bro. This can't be real. I know it was offered. Can you show me how you know? I am completely beside myself right now. Okay, give me a minute to find it. Yeah, do that. My heart is pumping fast. Relax, my friend. Deep breaths. It was in a chirp message. I'm looking. He says, okay. Heart pounding. My girl is messaging me about the night he walked in. Where did he walk in? So these messages are between Brandon Woodhouse and Brandon Woodhouse's girlfriend. So now, Mallory, it's funny how many times you tell me that if I only did this or that, I'd have to work another day in my life. He says, whatever, I'm not fighting with you. She says, like when I found Nikki Ellerthorpe, but never heard another word about it after I sent you the pics and info. Brandon says, who's Nikki Ellerthorpe? She said, I seen Keegan at Comfort Suites. And then it's cut off, so I don't know what the rest of it is. But he says, Champagne back in June returned for statement against Allen for McLeland. How safe is that testimony? You did see Keegan? OMG. She says, oh, I'm not a dumbass after all. He says, I'm in disbelief right now. If you would have got a picture of him, you would have never had to work another day in your life. Refresh my memory who he was with. Those are backwards, because then she says, it's funny how many times you tell me that. Mark says, damn, dude. High malicious intent. Mark says, damn, dude. Brandon's like, I told you, bro. I want to see the chirp, LOL. Mark says, I'm looking. Brandon's, holy shit. So that means the prosecution let him out. What county are his charges in? So they bribed him. Oh, I guess I didn't have to struggle to read those. So they bribed him out of a statement. So here it goes. Good morning, Keegan. Have you met with your new attorney yet? Who did you hire? No, I haven't. They appointed me someone, but I don't know who it is yet. Will you let me know when the murder sheet posts my interview with them? Yes, I will. They normally release it on Tuesdays. Brandon says, cocksucking motherfuckers. And Mark says, I have hundreds to go through. It may take a minute. Miami County. Brandon says, yeah, I would love to see the hotel one. What's his girl's name? Says Holly. I'll get it for you. Who's talking to him in the chirp? He says, it's definitely going to take a minute, but I'll ask a friend. If you find that, bro, all chirps are in and we're going somewhere with this. You now have eyewitness accounts. He says, definitely. He says, I'm still in disbelief. I will 100% have it by tomorrow at the latest. It's still a little late for my friend to respond. Brandon says, I need to know if what you're showing me is public or non-public, so I know how to keep my guard. Wow, holy shit. I know, virgin ears. Sorry, guys. These chirps are not. Check this out. I don't know. Hey, if you were going to go to school today, okay, this is interesting. So this is Libby's account. So this is the messages in between Libby and Abby. I want to say it's her Instagram, but I'm not 100% sure. She had a couple different Instagrams, but I think this is one of you guys will know what her Liberty Link account was, if it was Instagram or Snapchat or what it was. But these are the messages between Libby and Abby that he had back in August, apparently. See where it says Ricky? Is a man named Dan Howard anywhere in there? That phone number is Alan's. After I hit play on the video, my whole phone froze up like a viral attack. What? LOL? So here is the video of Abby and Libby talking to each other on social media up until the day they're actually killed. It's run it though. You're going to need new folders. You might want to consider buying a binder. A big one, like the 3-inch one. Yeah, this video is blurry. Hi, Seth. Yeah, he's all, that's fine. I'll go ahead and take the 25 charges. Just let me have one night at a hotel with some champagne. But they have champagne for pit bulls across America. That's what's important. You get to spend the night and you get to have champagne. Okay, so well, what we can say for sure is he did not receive this information via a folder of information that was left on somebody else's car. So there's more than one person feeding information here. It's just a video of their messages. They mentioned talking to a Ricky. They also talk about sending nudes and sharing passwords. It says, I know, bro, but it made it freeze up my phone. I've never seen nothing like it. Mark says, strange. Brandon says, yeah, it's not doing it now. I'll read it all when we crash. Something about what city are you from? Mark says, it's just a video of their man. We already did that. What city are you from? I'm from Rossville, Carroll County side. said, I lived in Logansport, but relocated to Texas. My daughter got diagnosed with a very rare disease, so we came here for higher quality medical care. Okay, so, the girlfriend must be Ashley, not Mallory. I apologize. She says, I also asked front desk because it was him, same build. Let me see if it's down here so I don't have to try to squint to read it. Same build, same hair, same walk, same style, everything. No, he was alone, and yes, his brother is Bart. He didn't turn around. He just kept walking. That's what confirmed it to me because he's seen me and he knows me from being best friends with Mallory. Mallory is his sister, and said his name 3 times, and he still didn't turn around. That might be an indication that it wasn't him, but, you know, who am I? When someone is calling out a name right behind you, you turn around even if it's not your name, but he kept walking because it was him. No. Somebody's calling out somebody's name that's not my name. I don't normally turn around, but I'm going to sleep now. I'm hurt. I'm hurt by your post and exhausted emotionally and physically. Okay, so that's their own personal whatever. She said, I guess he was alone, didn't want to pay attention. Damn. So is the Shots account in there? He's like, Shots account? Anthony Shots, Keegan's catfish account. Let me check. Oh, Seth, thank you. I adore you always. Thank you, thank you. Keegan's catfish account. Let me check. Let's go through there. Okay, we already read that. Names you want to check for. John Galitko, Travis Trexler, and Derek Hayes. He says, who is David McCain? Said, owns property by the bridge. Very rich, very powerful. He was an eyewitness to ... Mark says, yes, he saw an arguing couple. Says, saying he saw Daniel Pearson on the tracks. And he spoke with Derek Durbin, Daniel and Shelby. Who is Daniel? Bro, our evidence is matching. A local kid who was at the trails that day. Other witness that I know of, Bree Wilbur, Betsy Blair, Teresa Liebert. Says, hang tight. Isabella Voorhees, Brad Heath, Greg French, Richard Allen Thumb Drive. Here's some more stuff. Dun, 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 dun. Said, I told you, we got this. Said, Liebert lives on 625. She is Tobe's mother-in-law. She's not. She's Tobe's wife's aunt. Oh, imagine that. She described a man that didn't sound white, a darker man. There's a ghost in my house right now. All right, Unraveling, here you are. We're there. We got there. Says there's a ghost in my house right now. Mark's dead. Says, yes, have you watched my ghost tapes of my house on my channel? It's been a while since one has come, but it is upstairs with me. They drain my electricity. He says, I'm watching now. He said, bro, it's Abby. He said, damn, why do you think that? There's a video. Can't play it. He says, I hear footsteps. Damn, that freaked me out. He said, I'm telling you, since the night they went missing, they come to me. I'm friends with Abby's mother. He says, do you know Tammy Johnson? Brandon says, I heard the name. He said, Abby is back. She was Anna's friend in 2017. She wants us to help, bro. Is there anything about France in there? So thinking about the October 3rd AutoZone thing, this is Mark. They knew about Alan at the very least in September when they brought in and interviewed Dan Doolin. He sends him a video. He says, that's insane. Alan knew Anna. Have a good night, brother. I'll get you that chirp. He says, Alan knew Anna? Question mark? Yes. He says, I drank every night with Anna at the office bar for a whole year in 2019, and she never once brought up the case. He says, do you know Melanie? And he's all, Keegan's sister? He's like, no, sorry. He said, Anna's friend. Anna, Melanie, Tammy, and Megan all used to hang out. He said, no, Anna was always alone. She was always there before me, and after I left drinking, so much she was losing sight of reality. He says, Tammy's husband is Tony Nebergall, Richard Allen's best friend. He says, so do you think there was a connection there? He says, I think Abby was the target. Yes, I think Abby was the target too. But do you believe Richard put the target on her? He says, no, I don't think Alan killed them. So can I ask you who you think most likely did it? He says, Ron Logan. He said, I thought that too. But what would be his MO? I do remember seeing something about Alan. Mark says, he was a sick, twisted dude. Had a breakup that morning. Ashley Wright moved out. Said, what makes you feel like he was sick and twisted? Richard always Always walked like a chimpanzee with his palms faced backwards, facing behind him. He kind of waddled when he walked, unlike the bridge guy. This is Ron Logan's property where there's the orange cleaner. Cleaner on his porch. He said, "What's in the jug? Oh, shit." The morning of the 14th, the crime scene had a strong chemical smell. The smell is a fact? He says, yes. He says, is it full or is the jug orange? He said, jug is orange. It was empty, and 3 empty ones in the trash, and latex gloves too. So the voice doesn't match, doesn't sound like Alan either. So no, it doesn't. It sounds like 2 different people too. Well, what did he say he used the cleaner on? Yeah, it does. That's why they released them separately. He says, exactly. I've been told, he says, guys, get undressed. On the audio or question mark? Says, yes. I can't confirm though. Brandon says, Logan is deceased now, right? I wish I could hear the whole audio. Mark says, same. I've heard the girls reference a shack. Says, and you have a picture of a shack. He sends a picture of the shack. Says, yes, the most likely one, yes. I still can't get past the symbol being mentioned on the track and on Abby's body and the satanic ritual spot the guy found who found the symbol. Says Eric Williams. Says, is he a redhead? I think so. Yeah. He talks about walking through the thick brush, stumbling upon all the bones. Yes, Eric, and the shoe tree. Sends him another video. Can you tell me more about AutoZone on October 3rd? Sends Kendra Henderson's Facebook. I just know that whatever, this is Kendra who's referenced. So I just know that whatever they went to AutoZone for sparked the investigation back up after 2 years of damn near silence. Then the Chrysler plant, more than one person framed Allen. So what does it say about Doolin? Referenced where? Let me check. Okay, I'm looking. Kendra, that's her Facebook. Oh, I see now. Why was she interviewed on the 13th, same day as the Allen search? He says, good question. Here's more. There's Patty Dunbar. There's more. Dun, dun, dun. Keegan Klein is in there, bro. He says, I see. Hope DeMello. B. Wilbur, U.S. Marshal Office. They are federal OT state or of state. They are, I don't know what that's supposed to be. We need to find out who Wilbur is. If so, they think the suspect did crimes in multiple states. Said, I know who she is. Sends Bree Wilbers. She was Kelsey, Libby's sister's best friend. He says, this is Hope. He says, bro, she's on my Facebook. No way, show me. Yeah, I think I deleted her. Who, Hope or Bree? Damn, you know her? Her dad was a fireman and then an EMT. Yes, I know her. Chase, Bree, and Scott. She's super suspicious. He says, yeah, in an odd way. I wonder what Kelsey feels. Which girl's underwear was found in the creek? He says, Libby's. Were they both sexually assaulted or just Libby? He says, I believe both were. Was Abby truly deboweled? Disemboweled, but okay. No. Have you seen her COD? Abby's? Yes. Ash Lee and Mallory Klein were best friends from 2009 to 2013. This is the one that gets released on, I don't know. I thought this was debunked as fake. I don't know. These are on Reddit, though, but I think they're debunked as fake. I don't know. I can't actually answer that. Who knows anything anymore, right? It says, I don't see the COD. Thomas, Mike Thomas, is a family friend of ours, and he was pissed about Lesenby, but we never heard about the file. My dad was Carroll County deputy for 12 years. He trusts, I'm assuming none of them or one of them. My dad was also a Mason. There is this guy on YouTube that says he knows you. He says, who's that? I don't know. Oh, that's 4 Pit Bulls. Or is that his channel? I don't know. Maybe it is. Live with 4 Pits. Pouring the tea. Oh, no. I wonder if that's Sweet Tea's channel. You're the only person besides my girl I conversate with. He said, this guy, 4 Pits. In the comments or video. The guy in the video. Does he say it in the video? No. This was before you made your video. He says, I don't know him. I didn't think so. What he say, if you don't mind me ask? Says that he knew you and you were a good guy. Got to crash, brother. Long work day tomorrow. He says, aw, can we talk when I get off? Says, all right, brother, lights out, night. Good night, man. Remember, we've got this. Says, can't wait to meet you. Thank you, bro. Sleep well. He says, things better today with your girl? I hope. I've gone through a lot of stuff. What? You find anything good? Anna Spath is the juvenile witness who texted Kyla Brummett, ski mask incident girl, if there was a ski mask incident. Both girls are in the current version of the PCA. Nicholas Zopp is friends with Max Schnauberger. This is from Keegan. Now from me, Holly, Andrew, Akey in Logansport. Tell him this message. I need to talk to the FBI about Delphi. I want all my charges dropped or small amount of probation in exchange for the deal. I want witness protection till the trial for me and you, and I want it all in writing before I talk. Okay, yeah, I don't know. So then here's some more pictures. This is Ron Logan's. This is a letter from Ron Logan, and that's it. That's the last of it. That's the last of the screenshots that he shared. Yeah, that's what I was thinking after I looked at the thumbnail. Woo! You guys. Where does that land us? No fucking idea. No idea. I can't even make this shit up, I swear. Let me see what you guys are saying. Hi, Nana. Catching up. I live close to where Delphi in Peru, where Kay Klein is. It's very sad around this area due to drugs, low income, and SADV. Corruption is a very real thing. Stay safe, my friend Kazan. I don't know. I lived in Indiana for a long time when I was younger. One of my mom's best friends still actually lives in Kokomo, ironically. Serendipity. Ooh. I hope you could tell which one I was which one I was reading at which time, because sometimes I was just not going to say their names. Yeah, you can't, Delina. Yeah. Aaron. That was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. I didn't actually even, when I said I would read it, I didn't even realize it was going to be a lot. I mean, I read it, but reading it out loud, thanks. I'm even more confused. That's exactly what I was just going to say. Reading out loud, I'm just like, shit, I don't even know anymore. If it was leaked from the court, wouldn't you expect it to be accurate info? I feel like it's a lot of investigative info prior to arrest, and then I think that there was more coming after arrest, but that's just my thought process right now. Yeah, it's got just a weird Odinism twist. When I hear other people use the F word, I feel like it gives me the right to use the F word. I don't know. I cuss a lot, so I actually try to tone down how much I cuss while I'm live. My perpetual apologies. That whole text convo sounded scripted and staged, like someone talking to themselves as though they were two people. I don't know. I felt like it was. I felt like it was pretty accurate representation of where we're at right now. Yeah, don't ever do that again. My brain doesn't have enough bandwidth to process this. This is why I said this whole live was supposed to be for clarification purposes. And now you guys are all going to walk away going, what the hell happened? Watch the first hour for clarification purposes. And then if you want more confusion, watch the second hour. I should put that in my timestamps. I stopped at the park bench in March with my husband on our way home to Cincinnati from Chicago. I would definitely go there. I've wanted to go there for a long time. when you're really excited. You know what's really funny, and this is nothing to do with the case, obviously. It's really funny, like when my mom cusses, because my mom never cussed when we were growing up. She never cussed. So when she says a cuss word now, like in her older age, I'm like, what are you doing? It's almost laughable, even though she's really pissed off. Yeah, I can. It's definitely pieced together. It's not like somebody's like. It's not like there's one source that handed him a bunch of information. In my opinion, it's definitely multiple places of gathering info and then putting it together, which is, I mean, it is sleuthing. But I'm just, where's the information coming from that this is okay? I think is the difference. Yeah, bringing up the leak right before trial to get defense attorneys removed as suspect to be a coincidence. I agree. Oh, Annie. Oh shit. Go back to the beginning. Yeah, because this is kind of a pain in the ass. But I'm gonna wrap it up. Yeah, that's enough confusion for the day. If I start adding on more stuff, then we're just gonna walk away, going, what the hell did I just watch? So I'll let that go. I'm just gonna stop there before we go too far. But as always, I really appreciate you guys coming in and listening. And I hope that at least the beginning part of this made things a little bit clearer. Do you guys want me to bring that back up? Do you guys want screenshots of it? I mean, that's up to you. I have no problem. I'll bring it back up if that's the easiest way for you guys to see it. If you guys want to take a screenshot of it, I'll just go through them real quick and then I'll wrap it up. Sweet Melissa, you're late. Oh, you do, Ivy Rose? Okay, yeah, it's criminality187@gmail. In closing, thumb drive map. Dun, dun, dun. You got an email. You've got an email. Thank you, Angel. All right, so if you guys want that one, this is the other one. Like I said, I'll add them all to the site anyway to make it super easy, but just in case you guys want them now. And then here's this one. This one, I actually have more. We went through all these in a different live. I should probably let you guys know what live that was, but I couldn't tell you if I tried. And then this one just has a lot to do with the crime scene photos and the timing of the leaks with the Frank's memorandum. And then when everybody got them, even though, oh shit, that one needs to be moved because this actually says that he changed it to the 5th, but I covered it. So if you do take a screenshot of that, just make sure you mark that he changed it to the 5th that he got the photos. And then here's your F tree. This is also interesting because, you know, the interview with Barbara McDonald was actually recorded on the 19th. And, but on October 4th is when everybody supposedly got pissed off about the F tree, even though they'd already talked about the F tree for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks almost. So I don't know what was so important about the 4th. This is once again where I struggle with that date because everything surrounds the 4th of October. So if you want that one, there's that one, and that should be it. So there you go. And once again, like I said, I appreciate you guys being here for another night of what the fuck are we doing with our lives, really, when it comes to Delphi. And today is the 1-year anniversary of the deaths of the Idaho 4, so make sure that you keep their families and their friends in your thoughts and prayers. But go enjoy the rest of your Monday. It is Monday still, right? Yeah, I think it is. And I think we'll be back tomorrow. Maybe try to be a little bit less confusing or more confusing. You never know. You have to stay tuned, I guess. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.